Prime-time local news, serving the Lakeland and Midwest regions.
Good evening and thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Jace Mackey. High school students heading into university are always reminded to apply for scholarships. Well, those applications paid off for one Holy Rosary student this week who was surprised with the news she won the University of Saskatchewan Entrance Scholarship.
I felt shocked. I felt a little nervous, a little scared. I started sweating a lot.
Grade 12 student Java Bajma was shocked to be joined by family, teachers, and a representative from the U of S with the news she'd be receiving the scholarship worth $24,000. In addition to good grades, Java volunteers on projects supporting newborns and is active in the local swimming community.
Universities have great scholarships, and I think students have to go out and apply for them and make an effort to do that, but also to have a little bit of a resume, community involvement and a commitment to helping out in the future, and that's what we're getting with Java. And there's a lot of students like that in Lloydminster.
Java, who applied for the scholarship late last year, is thrilled to start school in Saskatoon this fall. She says her goal is to work in occupational therapy.
I'm excited for kinesiology because I really like to be active and do schoolwork. So I think that's a good combo. And I think I'll learn a lot about the body, which can help me with my occupational therapy later on.
Slay the Night and residents in recovery are bringing around their take on St. Patrick's Day celebrations. Our Zach Kenny has more.
So I'm here with Christopher Wise from Slay the Night for their event going on March 15th. Chris, do you want to tell me a little bit about this event?
Of course, thank you, Zachary. So on March 18th is our Silver Day St. Patrick's Luck of Old Irish event, and it's going to be happening at Grace United Church. I believe it is at 8 p.m. I would double check the event for that. And yeah, it's going to be a wonderful night. We are fundraising for Residents in Recovery, who does remarkable work in the city. And the main reason why we're doing this type of St. Patrick's Day show is because when somebody thinks of St. Patrick's Day, the general thought is green beer and more of a rowdy crowd. However, there is a select population in Lloydminster that needs a sober event to go to, that drinking is not a top priority, and we're very happy to be able to host this for their event.
Awesome. I like that idea. That sounds pretty good. And will there be ticket costs for this event?
Yeah, so ticket cost is $20 per ticket. You can find it on eventbrite.ca. If you just search Slay the Night Lloydminster in their search bar, we will pop up. And we can also find the tickets online at facebook.com/slaythenightYLL. And then $5 for each ticket will go to Residents in Recovery. So the more people that we are able to get to attend the event, the more dollars fundraised for Residents in Recovery we'll be able to do.
And is there going to be any kind of entertainment at this event as well?
Of course. So, with a drag performance group, we'll definitely have some drag performances geared around the overall theme of the event. However, we also are going to do game-style games. So we're going to get a lot of audience participation. Of course, if you don't want to participate, you can always sit back in the audience and have a good laugh. But think of Weakest Link, Let's Make a Deal, and the all-popular match game that has been on the Game Show Network.
Awesome. And for a silent auction, I saw that listed on the actual page itself. Can you just walk us a little bit through what that's going to be?
Of course. So without our amazing sponsors that we're able to connect with in the Lloydminster and the surrounding area, we would not be able to put on events like this for the community. With the silent auction, we have a number of baskets. Some baskets are from the LGBTQ plus Society of Lloydminster. I believe there's also the Mud Hut, just to name a very few, and Babs Gaming. So money raised from that will be going to Residents in Recovery as well.
Excellent. And for Residents in Recovery and Slay the Night, how did you guys get together for this project?
So actually, last year we had a private booking with the Thorpe Recovery Center for one of their employee nights. And because just the nature of the Thorpe Recovery and the clients that they carried it to, the need for a sober event and more sober events in Lloydminster was definitely a priority and a need. So before our Valentine's Day event, which we raised money for Lloydminster Vermilion Equity, we just reached out to Residents Recovery and would say, hey, would you like us to put on this event? And they said, absolutely, because I believe it was shortly in 2020 or 2021, there was talks that the doors to residents recovery was going to close. So funding is still a huge need for them, and we're very happy that we're able to do a very small show to be able to raise money for them.
Excellent. That's amazing. I love the fundraising aspect. That's great. And for like one of our last questions here, what kind of entertainment specifically will be playing, or is it just like a whole genre of things?
So for it would be a whole genre of for the evening. It's going to be, I believe we have 6 or 7 drag performers from Lloydminster that are going to get up, do a couple lip syncs. I believe we're going to have one individual that's going to do live singing, which is, I mean, that's impressive because I can't carry a tuna in a bucket. So props to this individual that can do live singing. And then also with that would be those game show. And we're going to get the audience up participating. And then if people want to be able to stick around after the event for a dance, we'll definitely have our DJ group, Forever Memories, are donating their time and their equipment. So if there's a need for a dance afterwards, we'll stick around and host a dance as well.
And is there anything else that I missed that you wanted to cover that I haven't asked yet?
Just the main thing is go on our Facebook page, get those tickets, because we all know that Lloydminster is last minute Lloydminster. And once word gets around for the event, tickets will go by quickly, and we would hate to turn it away at the door. So get your tickets today.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much, Chris.
Okay, thank you, Zachary.
On this warm day, it's time for us to check in with Shelby Clark for a look at weather.
Thank you so much, Mr. Jace Mackey. Yes, now taking a first look at your weather forecast here in the border city. Beautiful Friday, I would say, indeed. Just sitting at -2 with that wind chill, feeling closer to that -10 mark. But we are looking at a lot more sun peeking behind those clouds throughout the day. So hopefully everybody is enjoying it, because I would say it definitely is a beautiful day and a good start to the weekend. So hopefully everybody is enjoying it. Switching over to temperatures across the region for Alberta and Saskatchewan. On the Alberta side, most spots are seeing those single-digit points. Most are around that 0 mark right now on our Alberta side. Some we have matched with us here in the border city with Marwayne and St. Paul -2. We are seeing some of those +1s there with Bonnyville, Cold Lake, and over in Edmonton, definitely looking the warmest. And one that's at -1 with Lac La Biche. So not looking too bad on our Alberta side. Switching over to our Saskatchewan side, they are seeing those single digits as well, kind of matching with us on our Alberta side for sure across the region. Most around that 0 to 1 degree mark, so looking slightly warmer in some areas. Then we have some that are at those minus areas, but you know, still seeing those single digits. -2 up in Isle of Cross. While we go a bit lower, they start to slightly cool down from there. Looking at that -3 there in Maidstone and -1 in Macklin, as well as over in North Battleford. In North Battleford, we'll be going down to a low of -15 for their evening low, so cooling down by quite a bit, slightly cooler than what we were looking at last night. But condition-wise, we'll be seeing a pretty calm evening. Nothing too high of a chance of some flurries for North Battleford, so it'll be pretty calm. Looking at their Saturday tomorrow, daytime high of -8, so cooling down slightly for their temperature, although still seeing that single digit and a mixture of some sun and clouds, so hopefully that'll help warm things up for North Battleford tomorrow on their weekend. Cold Lake will be going out to low of -14, so seeing those double digits for their evening low. Looking at a little bit of cloudiness throughout the evening, seeing around a 25% chance of some flurries, but I expect it will be a pretty calm evening. And with that wind chill, probably feeling closer to that -20 mark for Cold Lake, so looking slightly cooler than what they saw last night as well. And then for their Saturday, Cold Lake will be looking at a daytime high of -8 and seeing a lot of sunshine, so hopefully that'll help warm things up and everybody will enjoy their day outside if you're going to be outside whatsoever. For us here in the border city, we'll be going out to low of -12 for our evening low, expecting those double digits, but not dropping by too much. You know, we have expected to see a lot cooler than this, especially as we are starting off our March. We have seen cooler than this in previous years, so I would say we definitely are still being spoiled everybody can still enjoy tonight as we head into the weekend. And then for our Saturday tomorrow here in the Border City, -8 daytime high and a mixture of some sun and clouds. So I think we are going to be seeing a beautiful weekend ahead here in the Border City. And now looking a little bit more into that as we end off with a look at our 3-day forecast, we will be looking at -15 on Sunday. So cooling down a little bit more after Saturday. We are going to be seeing that mixture of some sun and cloud tomorrow, but then we will be dropping down a little bit more on Sunday to end off the weekend with -15. So be prepared, although we have been seeing these nice, beautiful days with those single digits. We are looking at some of those winter temperatures making its way back here in the Border City as we end off the weekend into next week. And on Monday, we even will be looking at around -14. But have those shovels ready because we are going to see around a 65% chance of some flurries. That's all I have for now. We'll have more coming up after the break.
The Agricultural Producers Association of Saskatchewan is calling on Transport Canada to expand railway interswitching zones here in Saskatchewan. With more, here's Thomas Wildman.
Today we have Ian Boxall, the president of the Agriculture Producers Association of Saskatchewan, and he is here today to tell us a little bit about what they are working on with the CTA and the Canadian government in terms of grain shipping here in Saskatchewan. And so thank you so much for being with us today, Ian.
Thank you.
And so Ian, tell us a little bit about what APAS is looking to get the CTA to do for producers and grain shippers in Saskatchewan.
So we're asking them to increase interswitching, which would be the distance that the competition's railroad could travel on another line to pick up product and move it to the main line. So what we're asking for is currently that interswitch is at 30 kilometers, and it doesn't encompass enough of the shippers in Saskatchewan to ensure, timely shipping and competitive shipping in that. So in 2015 to 18, the government and the CTA increased that during the rail crisis there to 160 kilometers, which would encompass a lot more of our grain shippers to have the ability to source both railroads to ship their product.
Tell us about how important it is to get this competition between railways and just being able to work together. How important is that for producers here in Saskatchewan?
Just to increase shipping, right? We're captive in Saskatchewan. We have no choice but let the railroad move our grain to port. We can't truck it. So, in a time when the world needs our product and wants our product, never should a supply chain issue be a reason that we can't get this product to the end users. So, at the National Supply Chain Task Force has put this in as a recommendation, and we're just asking that the government and the CTA, implement this as soon as possible. I also think there's a play here where it's time that the railroad stepped up and did this voluntarily, worked with each other to ensure that shipping of the products that are produced in Canada and in Saskatchewan are shipped in a timely fashion, right? We export most of what we produce here, whether it be fertilizer, energy products, or whether it be grain, and it's time that the railroads did what's right for Canadians.
And how is APAS going to go about getting the Canadian government and the CTA to implement this policy that you guys are asking for? And how can Saskatchewan producers, if they would like to support this, how can they help support you guys in making this change?
Well, I think we've sent a letter to the government and to the CTA and to both railroads about this request. And I think we'll have some meetings in Ottawa next week when we're out there, and we'll bring this issue up and ensure that people understand the importance of it. I also think, local producers, talk to your MLAs and your MPs, and let's ensure that, competitiveness and that we are getting our products to port in a timely fashion, especially now that, we're seeing countries short of food and short of products, and they want what we have, and we need to ensure that we can get it to them in a timely fashion.
Thank you so much for all the information, Ian, and we hope you have a wonderful day.
Betcha. Thank you for your time.
And now let's take a look at today's agricultural prices. Holy Rosary High School recently had 2 recipients for an Alberta Coach of the Year award. Our Colin Dunlop has more.
Hi, I'm Callan Dunlop, and today I'm joined by Dustin Fulsher, a recent recipient of an Alberta Award for Coach of the Year. And to start, Dustin, can you explain how you got into coaching?
I've been coaching at Holy Rosary in some capacity since 1999, when I moved back to Lloydminster to start my career here. I graduated from high school there, played high school football at Holy Rosary, and then it made sense to give back when I moved back to Lloydminster.
Can you talk about the intricacies of coaching high school football, knowing that your roster is going to change like every 2 to 3 years?
Yeah, I guess that's the nature of high school football. We lose a third of our roster each year. We've been fortunate enough that we kind of have we've had 15 grade 10s, 15 grade 11s, and around 15 grade 12s for the last number of years. It's fun. A lot of these kids, a lot of us coaches are involved in minor football also, so it's fun seeing these kids progress from when they're in grade 5 through to grade 12 and see how they change physically, mentally, how they become young men, and it's getting to know them. And then yeah, that's the fun of high school football is you got a fresh batch coming in. You kind of got to start over each year. So it's good. We keep learning, and we're getting better too as coaches each year, ways to explain things and kind of keep the program moving in the right direction.
You weren't the only one to win an award. The defensive coordinator, Craig Paler, also won. Can you explain kind of how he deserved this award?
Since Craig joined, I can't even remember what year he joined, 2014, 2015. He's been great. He's jumped in and he's hit the ground running. We actually coached against Craig when he was coach up in Meadow Lake when Holy Rosary was in the 9-man Saskatchewan League. But it's great to see the amount of work and effort that he puts in each week to developing game plans. He's excellent working with the kids. He simplifies the game and makes it easy for them. It might look complicated to the other team what we're doing, but the way he teaches it, the way he teaches the skills, the way he breaks it down and explains it to the kids is unbelievable, and it lets our kids play fast. They don't have to think. And I think you can see that by when you watch our defense play. We've had an unbelievable defense for a number of years. That's credit to the whole staff that's on that side. But we're tough to play against. We're fast, we're physical, and that's just kind of the attitude and the mindset that Craig and the rest of the defensive coaches bring to that side of the ball.
You guys this last season have scored 458 points to your opponent's 53. Can you talk about how you guys were able to have such a successful season on the offensive end?
I think it kind of goes back to our philosophy and not just this year, but even going back the last 10 years with our program and where things have gone. We have great turnout to our practices. We have great kids want to be part of the program. They have fun in it. They enjoy it. So it's easy to coach and to have success when you have that buy-in from kids. We have a great collective group of coaches that are great at breaking down the skills, teaching it the way that kids can understand it and be successful. And then the key on offense is, it is creating a system where the kids, it's easy to them. They don't have to think. They can go out and play. Sometimes it might look like we're doing a lot of stuff, but sometimes it's all just kind of window dressing. And our few key core concepts are what we practice, and we rep it and we rep it and we rep it so that the kids, till they can't get it wrong. They're exceptionally good at it. They're dedicated. Our kids, are working out in the weight room 12 months a year. I think when you watch us play, you'll see that we're bigger, faster, stronger. And that's just to the kids' mindset, and they're, them wanting to be a part of the program and wanting to succeed. So it's it's really a collective effort between the coaches, kids, the administration of the school, very supportive of the fans, the parent group. We're very fortunate to be part of the Raiders organization.
Can you speak to how receiving an award like this means to you?
It's definitely nice, and it's an honor to be recognized in this individual. But it's kind of cliche, but really it's a whole organizational award. We have a lot of great offensive coaches. We have Kyle Rowland, who I mentioned, works with the O-line. Keaton Kozak works with the receivers. Paul Hayward with the running backs. Tyler Callahan was new to the town, comes out and helps. We have Jarvis Weinkoff, who's been a long time. So it's a complete group effort on the defensive side of the ball. Also, with the group that they've assembled over there. And so it makes my job very easy, and it's fun coming to practice when you work with a great group of guys, and then also a great group of kids that want to be there and put in the effort. It's easy, it's fun, it's enjoyable. So it's nice to be rewarded or kind of recognized, but at the same time, that's not why we do it. We're there because we enjoy it. We like seeing the kids succeed, not only on the field, but also in the classroom and where their lives take them.
All right, that covers everything that I had. Thank you so much for taking the time, Dustin, and congrats.
Thanks, Galen. Appreciate the coverage, and nice meeting you.
And now it's time for us to check in once again with Shelby Clark for another look at weather.
Thank you so much there once again, Mr. Jace Mackey. Yes, now taking another extended look at your weather forecast. We will be starting off with our central zone of the provinces. And on the Alberta side, we are looking at those single-digit temperatures. Very nice to see. We were seeing some higher plus temperatures yesterday. Slightly cooled down for today right now as we are looking at these spots, and some are now of course seeing those minuses once again, but still some beautiful temperatures. -2 is probably the coolest we are looking at, matching with us here in the border city over in Edson. -1s here with Red Deer, Athabasca and Whitecourt, and then we got some of those zeros to that 1 degree mark. So although we have cooled down slightly compared to yesterday, I still would say we are looking at a beautiful day today for our Friday in most spots, and we should be grateful because we have seen a lot worse than this in previous years, as we all know. Switching over to our Saskatchewan side in our central zone, they are matching with us on our Alberta side, I would say. Probably the coolest over on this end is -3 over in Melfort, -2 in Saskatoon, that is matching with us here in the border city, -1 in North Battleford, and of course we got those zeros to 1 degree mark for Meadow Lake and Prince Albert. But now as we go over to our northern zone, they actually are kind of seeing the same conditions as what they were looking at yesterday. Some spots were seeing some single-digit temperatures, and meanwhile up in Stony Rapids and Uranium City, still looking quite cool compared to the rest, but sitting around that -12 to -13 degree mark. -9 over in Walston Lake, while it is -7 in both Alosh and Buffalo Narrows. And then we got slightly warmer with -2 and -5 for South End and Flin Flon. Now as we go back over to our Alberta side here, they have cooled down quite a bit kind of compared to our central zone. They aren't really matching with us. They are looking a lot cooler. -1, -2 for Grand Prairie and Slave Lake, seeing the warmest compared to the rest. -6 for Peace River, while it is -8 there in Fort McMurray. And of course, High Level and Fort Chipewyan continue that cool streak with seeing those double-digit temps. And now as we go over to our southern zone, they are actually more matching with us in our central area. They are probably seeing the warmest conditions on our Alberta side yet. 3 degrees in Medicine Hat, while it is 2 over in Lethbridge, 1 degree mark in Calgary, and the rest are slightly cooler, seeing those minus points, but at least they are looking at those single digits. And going back over to our Saskatchewan side, they are definitely matching with us in our central zone, with the coolest just at -1 in 2 spots here, or 3, sorry, Yorkton, Regina, and Estevan. And then they start to slightly warm up from there with that 0-1 degree mark for Swift Current and Moose Jaw. And Kindersley is actually seeing the coolest condition there with -5. So we aren't looking too bad with these temperatures. Even though we have cooled down, we are seeing those minuses. We have seen a lot worse than this. So I would say we are seeing a beautiful weekend ahead in most spots in our surrounding areas. Looking at some overnight temperatures that we will expect tonight as we head into the weekend in our surrounding areas. We are cooling down slightly compared to last night for sure with these temperatures. Meadow Lake also has around a 40% chance of some flurries later on through the evening, but still we aren't quite hitting those -20s. The coolest expected tonight with a low of -15 to -16, Bonnyville and Isle Cross. A low of -13 tonight for Provost, and Paradise Hill and Meadow Lake will be expecting a low of -11. And we aren't seeing that extreme cold warning in place just yet for tonight, so I would say we all are going to be expecting a beautiful night tonight for sure as we head into our Saturday. And looking at our Saturday for our hourly forecast for here in the border city, we will be cooling down definitely compared to today as we start off in the morning with around -12, and then we go through our daytime high to around -8 that we will warm up to, and then we go through tomorrow evening into our Sunday at -13 to -14 degrees. So we will slightly be cooling down for our Saturday, so please make sure to throw on a thicker jacket for tomorrow instead of what you were wearing for the past couple days, because we will be kind of switching it back up. And looking at our 7-day forecast for here in the border city, as I was saying, -8 tomorrow with a mixture of some sun and cloud. We will cool down Sunday, but hopefully still see a lot more sun peeking behind those clouds. And as we head into next week, just be prepared. We will be starting off quite cool with a high chance of those flurries, so make sure you got your shovels ready. That's all I have for now. Our Jace Mackey will have our news coming up for you after the break.
Today I'm super pleased to be joined here with Ashley, who is an art class instructor and also an artist herself, and she is bringing a paint night to Lloydminster on March 23rd. So thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me today.
Thank you for having me.
Now to start things off here, can you tell me a little bit about yourself as an artist and these paint nights that you host?
So I worked for Paint Night for about 4.5 years. I started with them in like 2016, and then I started my own company. It was a year in August. So kind of all together, I've instructed over 900 events, over 15,000 people. When I started with the company, when I started with my company, I wanted to create something new, something that people want to hang on their walls. Paint nights are really fun, but sometimes people just go home and they chuck their paintings in the back of their closet. So I wanted to create some art that was a little bit different, that really stood out.
And you are actually located in Saskatoon. So what made you want to bring this paint night to Lloydminster?
I am. So I travel to a lot of like small towns. I'm from a small town. I have family in Lloyd. I used to do a ton of paint events in Lloyd, and so it was an opportunity to do them there again. I know that Lloyd is kind of a small city, so any sort of events that can come up there, they've done well so far. They actually do better than my Saskatoon events, which is exciting.
So the title of this paint night is Serenity Skies, and I can see behind you that you have some beautiful paintings, one of which is a sky. So is that kind of a sneak peek of what people are going to be painting at this paint night?
It is, yes. So the cool thing about this painting is, realistically, you can pick whatever color you like for your sky. The paintings are always, you can personalize them however you please.
I'm sure every painting coming out of this paint night will look absolutely different from one another, but I'm sure they will all be beautiful in their own ways. But for anyone who might not have experience painting like myself, or might just feel a little insecure signing up for this art class, do you have any tips and tricks to get over those first class jitters?
Yeah, I often, almost every single class that I've instructed, get somebody who's never painted before. They say they can barely paint a stick man. With the appropriate instructions, techniques, guidance, you'd be surprised what you can paint.
And will there be any snacks or drinks available at this paint night?
So it'll be at Rolling Green Fairways. They will be open at 5:30. They'll open earlier. We start at 7, so they're able to come for food and drink beforehand. The food and drink is not included in the ticket price, but all your materials, the kind of 2.5 hours that we take for the event, will be included in that. Everything's included minus your favorite paint shirt or apron.
Sounds like it'll be a great night. So for anyone who wants to sign up or find some more information, where can they do so?
They can head to my website at www.alopaint.ca, or my Instagram page is a.lo_paint, and my Facebook is alopaint.
All right, Ashley, thank you so much again for taking the time to sit down with me today, and I can't wait to see the turnout that this paint night has.
Thank you so much for having me.
There's so many great ways to enjoy winter and take in some great activities. Like the city of Lloydminster, they've put in this skating trail not far from Holy Rosary High School. It's a great way to get outside and enjoy the great outdoors. Another way you can enjoy the great outdoors is coming up tomorrow. The Paradise Hill Community Center, they're hosting their fundraiser snowmobile rally. You've got the opportunity to enjoy a scenic 80-kilometer trail, and part of that trail takes you into the northern Bronson Forest area. area. There's going to be opportunities to warm up. There's going to be food available for purchase at the halfway point. There's also a chance for you to get in on a 50-50 to support this great fundraiser. Registration starts at 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. For more details, you can go to paradisehillcommunitycenter.com. Coming up tomorrow night, a very special event is taking place here in Lloydminster. The Lloydminster RCMP are hosting their regimental ball. They're teaming up with the Lloydminster Interval Home Society to put together this incredible event, so the proceeds raised are going to go to support the Lloydminster Interval Home Society. There's going to be a delicious meal, a chance to do some dancing, also an opportunity to see some pieces of history from the RCMP. If you're interested in getting more details or you want to get your ticket, you can go online to lloydregball.ca. Award-winning country singer George Canyon is coming to Lloydminster. Thursday night, he's going to take to the stage at the Vic Juba Community Theatre, and he has just an amazing career. He's won a Juno Award for Country Recording of the Year. In the past, he's been named Male Artist of the Year at the CCMA Awards. You may have seen him on TV. He's been in a couple of different shows, including Trailer Park Boys. Plus, he's got a number of awards, including the Queen's Diamond Jubilee Medal. And most recently, he released this book sharing his story, how he got started in songwriting, and his time on the TV show Nashville Star as well. There's so many great stories in this book, and you're going to hear so many hits when you go see George Canyon at the Vic Juba Community Theatre. There's still a few tickets left. Head to vicjubatheatre.ca for all the details and to get your tickets. Well, whatever you do this weekend, we hope you stay safe and stay healthy.
What's Happening is brought to you by Northern Factory Workwear, Circle Drive East, Saskatoon, and Highway 17 South, Lloydminster.
Furniture set and design supplied by Furniture Gallery and Furniture House, downtown Lloydminster.
Joining us today for this week's entertainment panel is, of course, and you don't even have to question it, Abby St. John. Thank you so much for joining us today, Abby.
Of course. Every week, every Friday, it's the best day of the week. Not just because it's Friday, but because we have the entertainment panel.
Yeah, TGIF. Just for entertainment panels, honestly.
Of course.
Yeah, and we got some good horror topics on the go, I think, for this week's entertainment panel. Starting off, and this one's a bit more innocent, you know, Disney version, Haunted Mansion. And they got a remake that is coming back for kind of the new year here for 2023 that they got the remake. We got the first trailer for it, and it looks very interesting, you know, compared to the classic, what was it, 2003, Eddie Murphy's version. This is a bit more updated. We got some, we got Jamie Lee Curtis, Owen Wilson, Lakeith Stanfield, and we were just talking about it, gorgeous man in this movie. And Danny DeVito, which is absolutely hilarious. But just comparing it to the past one in 2003, it looks like it's going to be a good remake.
Yeah, I think so. And it looks like it's going to be a new story, new kind of everything, but set in the same place, which I like, because I didn't want it to be a full remake where it's like the same storyline. And Rosario Dawson is in it. She's also in it. It kind of shows her and her son moving into this house, and then obviously they start noticing things that aren't normal, of course, because it is haunted. And so Owen Wilson kind of comes in. It almost seems like he's a detective of some sort. We only got a little bit in the teaser trailer for it. And then Lakeith Stanfield, I think, plays like a ghost hunter, which I think would be really cool, because you have like that ghost hunting
aspect, I guess, to
storyline, which works with it. The other actors in it, like Jared Leto, Tiffany Haddish, Danny DeVito, we saw a couple of them in the teaser trailer. Danny DeVito, I didn't really see Jared Leto. Also, Winona Ryder is in it, which I think is amazing, because I love her.
Yeah, they got a full A-list.
Exactly.
You know?
So I'm very excited. Of course, we didn't really see Jamie Lee Curtis in it either, but it also is very exciting that she's in it. And I'm sure once we get a full-length trailer, we'll be able to see those characters more. it seems a little bit more spookier than the first one, has a little bit
100%.
more scarier parts to it, and it is more modern. It does look more modern. So Dan Levy is also in it, I forgot to mention, which is amazing.
It's gonna add some good comedy
Yes,
to that for
you know
sure.
you're going to have
Yeah.
some good comedy with actors like Dan Levy and Danny DeVito, and Tiffany Haddish being super funny and stuff like that. So I really like it. I'm very excited. August 11th, so not too far away.
Yeah, I think it's going to be very good. I think kind of the mix-up, like you were saying with the cast, I think it's going to make it very interesting. I hope they do not have a tarantula scene in there, no spider stuff. I mean, it would make sense if they do, because I think that was one of the most memorable things in that first movie, but I just can't do it again.
Yeah,
I always say I would leave my sister in there, so sorry.
Because it'll look more real probably, because the CGI is better.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, this is going to look terrifying. So it does seem like it has a lot more spookiness to it, and probably some better jump scares that I think will actually catch a lot of people off guard, because they're like, this is a Disney movie. Oh my, this is so scary. But I think it looks really good, and I think a lot of people should be checking it out. Hopefully, you know, it definitely, you know, reaches up to that level of the 2003 one. Hopefully Eddie Murphy comments on it too and says, good stuff, guys.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah, we'll
That'd
see.
be really cool.
But we got something else on the go that this is more R-rated, so not Disney. And this one is interesting. I think it's a little bit more not low key, but it didn't seem like it's like too talked about just yet, which is kind of interesting because it's going to be coming in theaters a lot sooner, if I saw that correctly. But it's called The Tutor. And we got, you know, for Stranger Things fans out there, we got Noah Schnapp that's going to be in this. And it kind of seems, I don't know, it looks a bit weird. We got Victoria Justice, which I was saying before. I think is kind of funny, just knowing that she's going to be in a horror movie, and I'm just so used to her, of course, seeing her back in the day. But this one seems like it's definitely, I wonder how it's going to be.
It seems less kind of horror and more of a psychological thriller. So it's called The Tutor, and it follows this rich kid who is played by Noah Schnapp. And, you know, his father is kind of, you know, not very present, but he hires a tutor for his son, who's played by Garrett Hedlund, and he becomes obsessed with his tutor, and very unhealthy obsession, stalks him and everything. He needs this job because his wife, Victoria Justice, is pregnant, and so they need the money to, you know, survive and live off of. But then Noah Schnapp's character tries to ruin his life almost. He has abuse allegations thrown at him, and this is all just from the trailer, so who knows what else happens. But you know, he throws abuse allegations when he has bruises on his legs, but he's the one that did it to himself, but saying that, you know, his tutor is doing that to him and stuff like that. So, and playing it off like this man is crazy and he's abusive and all that, when in actuality he isn't. This kid is just so obsessed with his life and who he is that he is going to ruin his life when, you know, the tutor kind of fights back a little bit. So it seems very psychologically damaging. And like you said, it was kind of underrated. I had never really heard about it until you brought it up when the trailer was dropped. So I'm curious to see this movie and see what it's about.
And I think it's like you were saying, like it's got a little bit more like low-key celebrities. Well, for us, that we haven't seen some of the other projects that, you know, some of the main ones may have been in, except for Noah Schnapp. But we shall see what happens. I think we got some good projects on the go.
Yes, 2023 is going to be a fantastic year for movies. There's so many movies coming out, and I'm so excited.
And so many different genres. Everyone should be happy, I think.
Something for everyone.
Exactly. Well, that's all the time we have for this week's entertainment panel. So once again, thank you so much for joining us today, Abby.
Of course, thank you.
And that's our show on this Friday night. Thank you all for joining us today and all throughout the week. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you again on Monday.